You ever notice how life has this twisted little habit of whispering to the people who feel the most unprepared? The ones who think they're too quiet, too broken, too overlooked to ever be chosen for anything meaningful. And yet, those are the ones life taps on the shoulder when the real chaos is about to begin. Not because they're the strongest or the loudest, but because they're the ones who can handle the kind of madness others would crumble under. Funny, isn't it? The world ignores you, right up until it needs you. There's something fascinating about those who can sense shifts before anyone else does. You see, most people wander through life with blinders on, thinking the world is simple, predictable, manageable. They follow routines like clockwork, believe in plans as if they were sacred, and never pause to notice the currents moving just beneath the surface. But you, the chosen one, you feel the tremors. You notice the flicker in someone's eyes, the pause in a sentence, the subtle change in the air before it becomes a storm. You pick up on what others call coincidence or imagination, but it's really instinct, intuition, the quiet language of reality trying to speak directly to you. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's your ability to sense what the world hides from the untrained eye. Most people dismiss that feeling. They call it paranoia, daydreaming, overthinking. They don't realize that life speaks in whispers to those who are listening. It doesn't shout at the distracted, the comfortable, the complacent. It nudges the ones it has chosen. And that nudging can feel strange, disorienting, even frightening. It's subtle at first, a feeling of unease when nothing seems wrong, a sudden clarity in chaos, a pull towards something unseen. You notice patterns where others see randomness. You feel energy where others feel only emptiness. That is not accidental. That is preparation, a quiet alignment of forces waiting to converge. And you are standing right in the center without even knowing it yet. The world is a theater, and most people are extras in a play they barely understand. They follow scripts written by expectation, routine, and fear. But those who sense the shift, they're the ones who read the cues before the scene changes. They see the cracks forming in the walls, the shadows gathering at the corners, the subtle tension before the chaos explodes. And here's the part most people fail to grasp. Sensing is not passive. Feeling the currents first is both a gift and a responsibility. It is a warning, a preparation, a way for life to test whether you are ready to navigate the coming madness without being swallowed by it. Instinct is the key. Not the kind you study in books, not the kind taught in classrooms, not the kind that fits into a neat, digestible formula. It is raw, unpredictable, often uncomfortable. It shows up as a knot in your stomach, a tightening in your chest, a sudden focus on something everyone else ignores. You might feel drawn to a place, a person, a decision that makes no logical sense at all. That's your signal. That is the world trying to communicate with you before the storm hits. It's telling you to pay attention, to prepare, to step beyond the ordinary, to see what the ordinary cannot see. And yet, most people will dismiss it, ignore it, call it coincidence, and wander blindly while the storm rages around them. Those who are chosen feel isolation too. There's a loneliness that comes from noticing what no one else notices. Friends, colleagues, family, they're blind to the currents you can see so clearly. They follow routines, expectations, comforting lies, while you stand in the subtle tension of anticipation, watching, waiting, sensing. It can be disorienting, maddening even, but it is part of the preparation. The isolation sharpens you, makes you resilient, and allows you to see the world as it truly is. You start to understand the difference between reality and illusion, between surface and depth, between chaos and the patterns hidden inside it. And that understanding will be your armor. The chosen one doesn't get notice, applause, or explanation. The signs come quietly. The warnings are subtle. The opportunities to act appear in moments most would consider inconvenient or irrelevant. You learn to trust your perception even when no one else does, to act even when the path is unclear, to embrace the discomfort because it signals that you are alive, alert, ready. Others might call it madness, confusion, overreaction. You call it awareness. You know the currents, the unseen structures, the hidden patterns, and you know that survival, influence, and success are not for the unobservant. The world is moving around you in ways most cannot see. Energy shifts, events align, people play their roles without understanding the larger story unfolding. And you, because you notice the shift first, have a chance to prepare, to move with the currents instead of being crushed by them, to turn confusion into advantage, uncertainty into clarity, chaos into a playground where the rules bend to those who can perceive them. Sensing is the first step. Understanding comes next. Action follows. But if you fail to notice the tremors, if you ignore the whispers, if you let distraction dull your perception, the storm will arrive unannounced, and you will be swept away like everyone else who refused to listen. Pressure, it's a funny thing, isn't it? Most people spend their lives running from it, complaining about it, pretending it doesn't exist, as if the world owes them a life without tension, without resistance, without the kind of stress that twists your gut and tests your patience. They want everything comfortable, everything predictable, everything safe. But the truth is, pressure isn't the enemy. Pressure is the signal. Pressure is the mark of importance. Pressure is the way the world tells you that you've been chosen for something bigger than ordinary, something so wild and consuming that only those who can handle the heat will survive it. And you feel it, don't you? That tightening in your chest, the restless energy that won't let you settle, the insistence in your mind that something is coming that will change everything. People misunderstand pressure because they see it as punishment, as a burden, as a weight meant to break them. They measure it in discomfort, in sleepless nights, in worry lines, in the pounding of a heart that won't stop racing. But pressure doesn't break the chosen. Pressure forges them. It stretches them beyond what they think is possible. It sharpens instincts, awakens hidden strength, exposes weaknesses that must be faced before greatness can be claimed. The world doesn't give pressure to the timid, to the complacent, to those who avoid challenge. It gives it to the ones it intends to mold, the ones it intends to test, the ones who must rise through chaos to take their place. And that is exactly what you are feeling, the quiet hand of preparation, the invisible nudge toward something immense. Look around. Notice the discomfort, the intensity, the seemingly random challenges piling up, because they are not random. Every delay, every obstacle, every moment that feels impossible, every confrontation with doubt that's part of the conditioning. The world is shaking you, pushing you, bending you, forcing you to adapt, forcing you to sharpen your focus, forcing you to shed the old self that cannot survive what is coming. People complain about hardship because they do not understand that hardship is selective. It doesn't appear in the lives of those who are safe, small, predictable. It appears in the lives of those who are chosen, those who are about to step into a storm that will make everyone else tremble, who are about to face challenges that seem insane to ordinary eyes. Pressure also exposes truth, doesn't it? It reveals who you really are when comfort is stripped away, when pretenses dissolve, when the masks fall. The person who cowers under pressure, who panics, who seeks escape, is not yet ready. The person who thrives under pressure, who notices patterns, who adapts and moves even when fear whispers to stop, is beginning to understand the rhythm of what is coming. And the rhythm is violent, chaotic, intoxicating. You can hear it in the tension building around you. You can feel it in the acceleration of events, in the strange coincidences, in the way moments collide with intensity that seems almost absurd. That is the beat of madness, the signal that the chosen are being summoned to act. Most people recoil from this intensity because they cannot see beyond the discomfort. They mistake chaos for danger, confusion for failure, intensity for misfortune. But to be chosen is to embrace the intensity, to welcome the discomfort, to allow it to teach, to mold, to prepare. You notice it because you are sensitive to the undercurrents. You sense the unseen patterns. You feel the currents that most people miss entirely. And that sensitivity is exactly why the pressure lands on you. It is a test, a warning, a preparation, a reminder that nothing less than complete readiness will suffice when the chaos arrives. The world does not accommodate the unprepared. It does not pause for hesitation, for doubt, for uncertainty. And the chosen one is not merely a participant in this madness. They are the instrument of it, the one capable of navigating its wildness without being consumed. Pressure is the forge where that capability is formed. It is the hammer striking, shaping, refining, until the raw material of fear, hesitation, and inexperience is melted away, leaving something stronger, sharper, more resilient. The intensity that seems unbearable to ordinary people is exactly what is required for you to endure what is coming. Notice the signs, the sleepless nights, the restless energy, the moments when everything seems chaotic and uncertain. Those are the markers. Those are not accidents. Those are indicators that you are on the edge of something unprecedented. And the beauty of it is that the very thing most people flee, the madness, the pressure, the intensity, is the very thing that proves you are ready. Most would crumble under it. Most would flee. Most would surrender. But you don't. You feel it. You watch it. You adjust to it. You prepare. And that preparation is everything. Because the storm is coming, the chaos is rising, and only those who understand pressure as the signal it is will survive, let alone thrive. Chaos. It has a way of creeping in when people least expect it. Most people go through life craving order, craving control, craving the illusion that if they plan carefully enough, follow the rules closely enough, everything will unfold neatly. But chaos doesn't follow rules. Chaos doesn't negotiate. Chaos doesn't care about your comfort, your expectations, or your timelines. And the chosen, the ones life selects for something extraordinary, they feel chaos before anyone else does. They sense it in the tremor of a conversation, in the flicker of a shadow, in the tension building in spaces most people call ordinary. That's not coincidence. That's a warning. That's preparation. That's life telling you that the stage is set and the performance is about to begin, whether you like it or not. Most people are terrified of the unknown. They fear unpredictability, uncertainty, and instability because they've been taught that life should be linear, calm, and logical. But you, the chosen, you know that the moment before madness is where truth is revealed. It's where weaknesses are exposed, where resilience is tested, where instinct becomes sharper than intellect, where the real self surfaces from the shadows. Chaos doesn't destroy the ones it has chosen, it shapes them. It bends them, stretches them, forces them into new dimensions of thought and action that ordinary people cannot even imagine. And yet, most people recoil from it, call it unfair, call it madness, because they cannot see the purpose hidden in its layers. You've noticed it, haven't you? The subtle shifts in your surroundings, the tension in the air, the strange coincidences that seem to be pointing towards something bigger than the mundane. Most people would ignore it. Most people would dismiss it as stress, anxiety, or bad timing. But you can feel it in your bones. You feel the currents beneath the surface, the rhythm of chaos that is quietly arranging everything to test, challenge, and ultimately prepare you. That feeling in your chest, that restless energy that refuses to let you settle, that sense that everything is about to change. It's the universe tapping on your shoulder, whispering, warning, pushing. You cannot ignore it, because it will not wait for you to be comfortable. Chaos is a mirror. It shows who is ready and who is not. It exposes fear, hesitation, and weakness, while rewarding those who can adapt, observe, and act with precision. The world does not coddle the unprepared. It punishes in subtle ways, testing patience, focus, and resilience, until the chosen either rise or break. And the irony is that those who break often do so, believing they were unlucky, that life was cruel, that they were singled out unfairly. But it wasn't cruelty. It was alignment. It was timing. It was the way the universe separates the ones who will survive from the ones who will falter. The chosen understand that chaos is not a sign of defeat, it is a signal of awakening. Every unexpected event, every disruption, every moment that feels overwhelming is designed to teach, to refine, to expand capacity. You learn more in an hour of pressure than you do in months of comfort. You discover skills you didn't know existed, courage you never imagined, instincts that operate faster than thought itself. Chaos forces you to step into yourself fully, to claim abilities that have been lying dormant, to trust your perception when logic falters. And those who can do this, those who can dance on the edge of madness without falling, are the ones who step into the destiny that awaits them. Most people spend their lives running from disruption, avoiding challenge, clinging to routine, believing that safety equals survival. But the chosen thrive in the eye of the storm. They move with it, anticipate its rhythms, manipulate its energy, and turn what terrifies ordinary people into tools, into weapons, into leverage. The very force that would paralyze others becomes the medium through which they prove themselves, grow, and rise. And the lessons of chaos are clear. It is not random. It is not punishment. It is not meaningless. It is the signal, the test, the shaping hand, the prelude to something monumental. You can feel it coming, the height of the madness, the apex of the storm, the moment when everything aligns and nothing is predictable. You've felt the tremors, the warnings, the subtle nudges. The chaos is arranging itself. The world is bending and twisting around you. And while most people will flinch, freeze, or flee, you sense the opportunity hidden in every disruption, the lesson behind every challenge, the path that only those brave enough to face madness can navigate. The universe doesn't prepare ordinary people for extraordinary moments. It prepares those who can see the patterns in chaos, who can move before the storm breaks, who can endure the intensity and rise stronger for it. Isolation. It's a funny companion. Most people fear it, run from it, fill it with noise, distractions, and shallow connections, believing that being alone is being forgotten, being weak, being irrelevant. But the chosen, the ones who are about to face the kind of madness most people couldn't imagine, understand isolation differently. Isolation becomes a lens. It sharpens perception. It forces you to confront truths that comfort tries to hide. When the world is quiet, when voices are distant, when no one understands the tension building inside you, that's when clarity arrives. That's when you begin to see the patterns, the alignments, the subtle signs that everyone else ignores. Isolation doesn't punish the chosen. It prepares them. Think about it. Most people spend their lives surrounded by others who affirm their limited beliefs, who feed their illusions, who cushion them from discomfort, and they wonder why they never rise, why they never feel alive, why their world never changes. But you, because you sense what is coming, because you've been chosen for something beyond ordinary, you notice that being surrounded can sometimes blind you. The chatter, the opinions, the expectations, they dilute focus, they dull instincts. In isolation, however, every thought, every feeling, every pulse of awareness is amplified. Every pattern becomes clear. Every hidden connection, every subtle warning, every instinctual nudge becomes visible. And that visibility is power. Isolation also exposes weakness, not to shame you, but to refine you. It reveals fear, hesitation, and doubt that you might otherwise ignore. It forces you to wrestle with parts of yourself that the crowd would distract you from. The chosen are tested in quiet moments, when no one is watching, when pressure isn't obvious, when the world seems indifferent. That's when true strength is forged inside, alone, facing the raw reality of potential chaos. The intensity that others flee from becomes a training ground. The silence that others fear becomes a space to strategize, to sharpen instincts, to anticipate the storm with clarity that the distracted will never possess. And while the world may not notice, while friends may question, while colleagues may misunderstand, the chosen know that isolation is a signal. It is life's way of giving space for preparation, for observation, for evolution. You learn to trust yourself when no one else does. You learn to act decisively when everyone else hesitates. You learn to see the truth hidden beneath the surface, beneath appearances, beneath social masks. That's the gift of isolation. It makes you capable of seeing, sensing, and navigating the madness that others cannot even comprehend. People fear loneliness because they think it's emptiness. But for the chosen, it is fullness. Every quiet moment is fuel. Every solitary thought is a map. Every feeling of separation is a mirror reflecting what must be understood, integrated, and mastered before the storm arrives. Most would crumble under the weight of their own awareness. Most would run to the familiar, the comforting, the shallow distractions that mask the edge of reality. But the chosen do not run. They embrace the space, because it is here that the mind sharpens, the senses heighten, the strategy becomes clear. Here, in the isolation, is where preparation becomes unstoppable. And yes, isolation is lonely. It demands endurance. It challenges patience. It tests mental fortitude. But it also separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It ensures that when chaos hits, the chosen are ready. They have been tempered in silence, strengthened in solitude, and trained by awareness. The world throws storms at everyone, but those who have faced the isolation, who have learned to listen in the quiet, who have allowed their instincts to sharpen when no one else was watching, they do not just survive, they rise. They move with precision, with clarity, with a certainty that others cannot match. Isolation reveals patterns that are invisible in the noise. It highlights opportunities that are overlooked in distraction. It amplifies instincts that are muffled in crowds. And the chosen, because they have spent time in this crucible, because they have endured the quiet tension, because they have observed what no one else observes. They are positioned differently. They can move before chaos hits. They can anticipate, manipulate, and thrive in ways that seem impossible to those who cling to comfort. Solitude, for the chosen, is not punishment. It is preparation. It is perspective. It is power. And it is the quiet forge in which survival, mastery, and influence are crafted. The signs are everywhere if you know how to look. Most people walk through life blinded by routine, noise, and distraction, ignoring the subtle pulses, the small disruptions, the strange coincidences that quietly indicate something monumental is approaching. They wait for life to announce itself loudly, to wave in neon lights, to confirm that they are ready in some neat, convenient package. But the chosen understand that the universe doesn't operate politely. It doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't care for comfort. It doesn't pause for reassurance. The signs are quiet, almost imperceptible, but they are consistent. They are patterns, pulses, vibrations that prepare the mind, the body, the soul for what's coming, and they intensify as the moment of awakening draws near. Most people dismiss these signals as coincidence, overthinking, imagination, or paranoia. They want simplicity, certainty, predictability. They crave explanations that fit their narrow understanding of the world. But life doesn't conform to narrow understanding. Life thrives in contradiction, in chaos, in moments that stretch perception beyond the ordinary. And the signs, those subtle markers of change, are often invisible to anyone who hasn't trained themselves to notice. They manifest in small nudges, in fleeting feelings, in the sensation that something unseen is aligning, shifting, orchestrating events in a way that only those who are paying attention can recognize. Notice how people ignore opportunity because it doesn't match their expectations. They reject what feels strange, uncomfortable, or inconvenient. They fail to see the patterns that the chosen perceive instinctively, because comfort has dulled their awareness. And that is why the signs are so critical. They are meant to guide, to redirect, to prepare. They are subtle, but if followed, they provide clarity amid chaos, a map through unpredictability, a warning before madness arrives. The chosen feel them first, perceive them first, react to them first. That sensitivity sets them apart. It separates those who will rise from those who will falter. The signs come in many forms: a sudden opportunity, a strange coincidence, a disruption in routine, a message from someone unexpected, a feeling that refuses to be ignored. Each one is a piece of a larger puzzle, a subtle arrangement that, when pieced together, reveals the trajectory of what is about to happen. The world is preparing you, testing you, alerting you, but it requires awareness, courage, and trust. Most people misinterpret these signs because they lack patience and perspective. They see only fragments, and the fragments confuse them. They see only chaos, and they panic. The chosen, however, see the invisible strings connecting events, people, and decisions, and they understand that chaos is often the prelude to alignment. Time plays its own part in this orchestration. The signs accelerate, intensify, and accumulate as the moment approaches. Small nudges become unmistakable signals. The subtle pulse becomes a thundering rhythm. Awareness is required, because if ignored, the signs lose their clarity, blending into the background noise of routine, stress, and distraction. The chosen must remain vigilant, attentive, and patient. They must observe the undercurrents, anticipate shifts, and trust their instincts even when the rest of the world cannot see the patterns forming. That trust in perception is what separates survival from failure, readiness from unpreparedness. Notice the intensity building around you. Strange events, coincidences, uncomfortable confrontations, feelings of anticipation. You cannot explain. All of these are part of the language of preparation. The world communicates not in words, but in signals. The chosen understand this. They do not wait for life to spell out instructions. They sense the rhythm of change and respond subtly, instinctively, decisively. The signs are guiding them toward alignment with what is coming. Ignoring them is a luxury the unchosen can afford. For the chosen, every missed signal is a lost advantage, a missed opportunity to prepare for the chaos that is arriving. Awareness, patience, and action are all intertwined. The signs demand observation, reflection, and readiness. They demand that the chosen not simply move blindly, but move with understanding, adapting as patterns unfold, adjusting as currents shift, and preparing for the inevitable eruption of madness, pressure, and transformation. And while most people wander blindly through life, oblivious to the subtle orchestration, the chosen are reading the invisible script, feeling the pulse of the unseen, aligning themselves with the chaos before it arrives, and positioning themselves to thrive in ways that ordinary eyes cannot perceive. Timing. It is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. Most people live as if the world owes them immediacy, as if opportunity should arrive on demand, as if their readiness can dictate when events unfold. They want life to fit neatly into their schedules, their expectations, their comfort zones. But the chosen, the ones about to face chaos, madness, and transformation, understand that timing is neither random nor negotiable. It is precise, deliberate, and often inconvenient. The signs arrive in whispers, the opportunities appear in strange forms, the currents shift in ways that seem chaotic, but every movement is perfectly orchestrated for those paying attention. And you can feel it, can't you? That subtle pull, that strange alignment, that sensation that everything is accelerating towards something you cannot yet fully grasp. Most people fail to notice timing because they are impatient. They look for immediate results, instant confirmation, clear direction. They mistake stillness for stagnation, delay for failure. But timing is not about speed. Timing is about alignment. It is the quiet hand guiding events, people, and circumstances toward a convergence that will reveal what is meant to happen. The chosen feel it first, the vibrations in the air, the energy in interactions, the small coincidences that hint at preparation, at orchestration, at inevitability. They understand that being early or being late can ruin everything, and that there is a perfect moment for every leap, every action, every transformation. Life has a wicked sense of humor in the way it manipulates timing. It withholds, delays, and tests patience, not to punish, but to prepare. The moments that feel frustrating, the opportunities that seem absent, the shifts that appear confusing, they are all part of a larger rhythm that the unchosen cannot see. The chosen, however, perceive the subtle pulse, sense the hidden cadence, and begin to align themselves with the unfolding sequence. They know that the storm will arrive not when it is convenient, not when they feel ready, but exactly when it will demand everything they have and more. And that demand is the crucible where ordinary humans falter and the chosen thrive. Notice how life positions you. Small nudges, unexpected meetings, coincidental encounters, sudden changes in circumstance. They are all markers of timing. The unprepared dismiss them. The impatient ignore them. But the chosen sense their significance. They understand that every delay, every disruption, every frustrating pause is part of the prelude, part of the build-up, part of the subtle orchestration that ensures, when the moment finally arrives, they will be in the exact position to act, to endure, to thrive. Timing is not about rushing. Timing is about preparation, alignment, and perception. Most people want clarity before action. They demand instructions, guarantees, and signs in black and white. The universe does not operate that way. Timing delivers signals in fragments, in whispers, in unexpected forms. It tests patience, intuition, and trust. Those who fail to notice the subtle signs get caught unprepared. Those who wait for obvious instructions miss the moment entirely. The chosen, however, read the rhythm of events, sense the converging patterns, and move when the universe subtly indicates that the time is right. That sensitivity to timing is what separates those who rise from those who collapse, those who survive from those who are left behind. There is beauty in the delay, in the wait, in the unseen alignment. Every second, every interaction, every small adjustment is part of the invisible choreography that prepares the chosen for the chaos to come. The challenges that arrive too early would crush the unready. The moments that arrive too late would pass unnoticed. Timing ensures that the chosen are neither crushed nor blind. They are positioned perfectly, sensitized by anticipation, aware of currents, ready to respond with clarity, precision, and courage. They understand that patience is not inaction, but preparation. They understand that waiting is not weakness, but strategy. The moment will arrive, and when it does, the chosen will feel it deep in their bones, recognize it instantly, and act decisively. Timing has orchestrated everything to lead to that point: the energy, the chaos, the pressure, the opportunities. And while most people will continue to stumble blindly, ignoring signs, resisting change, and questioning the delays, the chosen will rise in sync with the invisible rhythm of the universe, aligned with the perfect timing that has been preparing them all along, ready to meet the madness with a presence and precision that only those attuned to the currents could possess.